Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the $5 Journey. I am Anomaly. I am a writer. I go by that name, Anomaly. My real name is John. Um, I actually wrote the book because I saw that there was a need for the working class, for the middle class, for the working poor, for the working homeless to try to dig themselves out of the rut that various things in life may have gotten them in. Um, Definitely, when you look at the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, you look at the 2015 census report, there's all kinds of different articles out there that you can look at. And you see that the poverty has gotten out of control here in this country, the United States. You also see that many Americans can't go missing a paycheck. If there is an emergency of $1,000 or more, then they're pretty much screwed. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of problems. I was actually speaking with my mother not too long ago, and she was letting me know about a situation that my aunt was in. Now, my uncle, they did everything right. They worked hard. They saved up money in their retirement account. They subsequently retired. The house was paid off. All that kind of stuff. So everything was in place. So you figured, oh, well, once they retire, everything should be fine. It shouldn't be any sort of issues. Well, my aunt, she's about to be 100 actually. And her husband, my uncle, passed away several years ago. And she has Social Security. She has she had the retirement account and all that kind of stuff. But she faced a dilemma. She had a few $100,000 in the bank saved up, but medical costs, the cost of the home health attendants, the cost of paying taxes on her house that was already purchased, all those kinds of things, just meals, those kinds of things, just everyday living. That money got eaten up. And so many Americans may not even be in that situation where they have a few $100,000 or have the house paid off or, have a retirement account. And they're still facing the same kind of situations. They're facing healthcare costs. They're facing debt. They're facing stagnated wages. They're facing a whole myriad of things. They're facing inflation. And so I feel that there's a need to really try to come up with some solutions, some strategies to help those folk, to help the middle class, the working poor, the working homeless, maybe even elderly, if need be, whoever it is, the book, The $5 Journey, offers a lot of strategies to help out with that. Now let me just talk about a little bit about what the why I wrote the book, and I know I went into a little bit on kind of why, basically trying to help people out, but there's another reason. The other reason is that there's this financial miseducation that actually happens, or I don't know if it's miseducation or if it's just lack of education. Either way, it leads to the same outcome, which is basically that a lot of Americans, that we don't know how to grow our money, that we don't know how to think as entrepreneurs, that we don't know how to have passive forms of income, that we don't know how to have a positive net return on our money, that there's a lot of things that we don't know of. We're leaving, even those of us that may have 401ks or IRAs or things like that, we leave those things in the hands of people who may or may not have our best interests in mind. But either way, those things are for retirement. How about now? How about living now? How about the groceries? How about all those kinds of things? So we are in a rut where people are living off of credit cards. There's a whole lot of problems. So what I'd like to do, and this is where the $5 journey comes in, and these are the kinds of things that we'll be discussing throughout the various postings and the videos that I'm going to make. What I'd like to do is just offer strategies, offer suggestions to get a person going from who may have been investing nothing, whether it's nothing per day or nothing per week or month or year. I want to take that person and give them tools to get them to the point where they're at least investing $500 per week. They would be investing that $500 per week into mutual funds, into stock, into real estate, into different financial vehicles that can actually give them additional money to work with, to pay down debt, to put towards retirement, to maybe even take some of that to go on vacation, to do other things with, to in the case of if you're working homeless, to provide you a place to live. If you are working poor and maybe you're living off of credit cards, or not even living paycheck to paycheck, providing you that extra income so that you'll be in a more comfortable position. Okay, I know that I was a Bernie Sanders supporter, and some of you may not like that. Maybe some of you are a little bit more conservative in your political affiliation. That's fine. I don't care either way. The fact is that we can't rely on politicians to legislate our way out of this rut that we're in. We can't rely on it. The corruption that goes on in DC, the money in politics, all those kinds of things really chip away at the fabric of our society. But where you and I are concerned as far as dealing with finances, the laws are not going to be legislated to help out the working class. They're not going to be legislated to help out the working poor, the elderly, some of us who are suffering the most. Most of the laws, and I hope this changes, maybe if you're watching this video in, another 3, 4, 5 years, maybe 20 years from now, maybe everything has changed. I don't know. Maybe the laws are, being made to help out the elderly and the downtrodden and the poor and the working class, and all those different types of people. Maybe that's the case, but right now, at the end of 2017, that is not the case. The case is that the laws are implemented there to help the wealthy, to help the business owners, the wealthy business owners. The laws are there to help the oligarchs of society, the upper 0.1%. So I want to fight against that. I want to give the working class, give the middle class folk a way to get a leg up. So maybe we can eventually get to this financial table and have a seat there and actually do things to improve the legislative decisions that have really cost us a lot of the freedoms of our democracy. So that is the point. That is the purpose of this page. That is the purpose of this channel. That is the purpose of the book, to provide additional financial insight. And a lot of times we're under the impression that you need $10,000 to get started in that kind of thing, or you need $100,000, or there have been many people that I've spoken to who've wanted to go into real estate, let's say, and they feel that they need, a few $100,000 in the bank to get started, or they need 20,000 to get started. There are people that I've spoken to who want to get involved in increasing or having a portfolio with mutual funds and REITs. Those are real estate investment trusts. But they feel that they have to have 20,000 in the bank or 5,000 in the bank, and if you're trying to figure out whether you're gonna take this money and buy groceries with it or buy medication with it, you either got to buy one or the other. If you're one of those people who's trying to figure out, can you afford this, $10 Christmas present for your child? If you're one of those people who, you're maybe you have a couple of children, and you're really trying to figure out kind of how to make ends meet. If you're one of those kinds of people, you don't have $5,000 or $10,000 extra dollars to put into any of these financial vehicles to see your money grow, to see your money work for you. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to spend my time here having obviously really good discussion, but also seeing if I could offer some strategies, some helpful hints to get you to the point where you are no longer living from paycheck to paycheck, where you are no longer living off of credit cards, where you are investing with your money. It's called the $5 journey because it starts with $5, but the book ends with you getting to a point where you're investing $500 per week. But that is not the end of the actual financial journey. There's a whole lot of other stuff out there after that $500 per week investing. That is just a tip of the iceberg. Okay, so I want to take you to that point from the $0 investor at least to the $500 investor, and then we'll grow from there. Okay, so that is my promise to you. I am not an accountant. I am not a financial advisor. I am just someone who knows what it's like to be in poverty. I'm someone who knows what it's like to be part of the working class, and I'm also someone who knows what it's like to be in a position to now have assets that actually work for you, to have passive income, to be at a point where you can purchase property, you can now have tax shelters. So I've seen a lot of different things. I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff, and I'd like to just share my information. I care, and hopefully you all will benefit from it. So please subscribe. Please pick up a copy of the book. If you don't have it, then you'll be able to kind of launch in. But I will be talking about some of those tips, some of those strategies that I give in the book on this channel. Okay, so I hope it all works out. Feel free to leave some comments. Let me know your thoughts. Thumbs up it, and I will talk to you all later. Anomaly signing out.